In the quaint and quizzical realm of antiquity, where the sands of time swirl like a tempestuous tempest, there resided a most peculiar scholar by the name of Dr. Anya Chronos. With a PhD in the esoteric art of who knew that existed, she was no ordinary academic. Nay, she was a masterful magician of knowledge, wielding her wit as one would a wand. Armed with an insatiable curiosity and an arsenal of arcane facts, she embarked upon an extraordinary expedition into the ancient annals of Sumeria, where secrets lay buried beneath layers of dust and divine decrees. Upon her arrival in Sumeria, that splendid cradle of civilization, Dr. Chronos found herself amidst a cacophony of cuneiform characters that danced before her eyes like sprites at Midsummer's Eve. "Lo and behold," quoth she with sardonic glee, "what ho! A hidden message hath emerged from this cryptic chaos." With nimble fingers and a mind sharper than a serpent's tooth, she deciphered the text, only to discover it spoke not of mundane matters but rather cataclysms, those grand calamities that befell mankind throughout the ages. With her snazzy time machine, a contraption bedecked with dials and knobs that twinkled like stars in the night sky, Dr. Chronos didst zip forth to the fabled lands of the Mayans. "Pray tell," she mused aloud whilst adjusting her monocle, "what manner of mischief hath befallen these illustrious architects of astronomy?" As she traversed through time's tapestry, she pondered whether drought or overpopulation had wrought their ruin, yet fate had other designs. Upon arriving in this verdant paradise adorned with pyramids reaching for the heavens, Dr. Chronos soon discovered that all was not as it seemed. The Mayans were not beset by nature's wrath nor by numbers too great to bear. Nay, their downfall was attributed to an altogether more absurd affliction: bad Wi-Fi. "By my troth!" exclaimed Anya with exaggerated exasperation. "What folly is this? A civilization brought low by poor connectivity." As she wandered through bustling marketplaces filled with merchants hawking wares both wondrous and whimsical, Dr. Chronos encountered a sage who lamented loudly about his inability to stream his favorite celestial soap opera due to incessant buffering. "Alas," he cried dramatically, clutching his heart as if struck by Cupid's arrow, "without reliable Wi-Fi, how can we commune with our gods or share our daily dramas?" With each passing moment spent among these beleaguered Mayans yearning for digital connection, Anya felt compelled to teach them truths obscured by their own technological tribulations. "Fear not," she proclaimed with theatrical flair, as if addressing an audience at court, "for I bring tidings from beyond your wildest imaginings. Let us unite against this nefarious foe known as Poor Signal." Thus commenced an uproarious campaign led by Dr. Chronos herself, a quest for better bandwidth that would echo through history like thunder on a stormy night. She conjured spells, or perhaps merely clever marketing strategies, to entice local wizards and tech-savvy priests alike into crafting devices capable of capturing ethereal waves from distant realms. As days turned into weeks filled with laughter and ludicrous inventions, such as enchanted routers shaped like jaguars, the Mayans began to thrive once more in their newfound connectivity. They shared tales across vast distances faster than one could say sacrificial avocado toast, restoring their cultural vibrancy while simultaneously ensuring they never missed another episode of their beloved celestial drama. And thus it was that Dr. Anya Chronos taught these ancient souls not merely about technology, but about resilience in the face of absurdity, a truth timeless and transcendent, that even amidst cataclysms both natural and digital, humanity shall always find ways to connect and create joy anew. In the grand tapestry of time, where the threads of truth intertwine with the whims of whimsy, we find ourselves in the illustrious land of ancient Greece. Herein lies a realm where earthquakes danced like drunken satyrs and volcanic eruptions erupted with all the grace of a clumsy centaur. The Greeks, those sagacious sages, devised their own delightful disaster plans, an assemblage of absurdity that would make even the most seasoned sorcerer scratch his head in bewilderment. With naught but a handful of herbs and an incantation or two, they conjured forth clever contraptions to stave off calamity, proving that when Mother Earth rumbles, one must simply rumble back with a hearty laugh. As we traverse this tumultuous terrain, let us not forget the whimsical wisdom imparted by Pythagoras himself, who claimed that numbers held the key to understanding nature's capriciousness. Indeed, as he scribbled equations upon sandy shores while dodging falling rocks, he taught his disciples that preparation was paramount. "A stitch in time saves 9, quoth he, though I dare say it was more likely a stitch in time that saved them from being buried under boulders. Thus, armed with arcane knowledge and an abundance of olive oil, our Greek forebears faced their fates with fortitude and flair. Yet lo, as we venture forth into the mighty embrace of the Roman Empire, a realm renowned for its resplendent roads and aqueducts that flowed like rivers of liquid marble, we must pause to ponder a peculiar plot twist. Forsooth, it is whispered among jesters and scholars alike that Rome did not succumb to barbarian invasions as history hath oft proclaimed. Nay, the true downfall lay in their dire deficit of delectable pizza toppings. Imagine a world where pepperoni was but a distant dream and mushrooms were deemed too fanciful for common consumption. Picture it now, legionnaires marching valiantly into battle whilst dreaming of anchovies and artichokes. A tragic tale indeed. As they gazed longingly at their empty plates, one can only surmise that their spirits waned faster than wine spilled upon a banquet table. "What good are roads if there be no repast?" they lamented as they trudged through fields devoid of flavor. Thus did Rome's culinary crisis contribute to its eventual collapse, a lesson in truth wrapped in layers of irony thicker than any lasagna. But hark, let us not overlook the architectural marvels wrought by Roman hands, those magnificent aqueducts that soared above valleys like ethereal rainbows made manifest. These structures were not merely conduits for water, nay, they were symbols of civilization's triumph over nature's chaos. With every stone laid and arch erected, the Romans declared war against drought and despair. And yet, amidst such grandeur, one cannot help but wonder if they ever considered adding basil to their brimming baths. As we delve deeper into this delightful discourse on disaster management and culinary catastrophes, we must acknowledge the role played by humor in teaching truth. Absurdity serves as both shield and sword against ignorance. It allows us to confront uncomfortable realities whilst donning a jester's cap. In this light-hearted lens through which we view history, we discover that laughter is indeed an elixir potent enough to heal even the gravest wounds inflicted by fate. Thus do we arrive at our final revelation. Whether faced with tremors or toppled towers of pizza toppings gone awry, both Greeks and Romans exemplified resilience through resourcefulness, and perhaps a sprinkle of sarcasm too. Their tales remind us that while calamities may strike without warning, it is our response, our ability to adapt with wit, that ultimately defines our legacy. So let us raise our goblets high in tribute to these ancient architects of absurdity. May their stories echo through eternity as reminders that truth often wears many masks, some adorned with laurel wreaths, while others sport pepperoni crowns. In embracing both folly and wisdom alike, we glean lessons from history's rich tapestry woven with threads both serious and silly. And thus concludes our whimsical wanderings through antiquity, a journey marked by earthquakes quelled by clever contraptions and empires undone by unfulfilled cravings for culinary delights. As we step back into our own time laden with modern woes, let us carry forth these truths. Prepare thyself for calamity while savoring every morsel life hath to offer. In sooth, dear denizens of this modern realm, lend thine ears to the curious tale of Anya, a most peculiar purveyor of perilous knowledge. With a treasure trove of tips for taming tempestuous tribulations, she hath returned from yonder ages where calamity reigned supreme, and Mother Nature didst cavort with capriciousness. Hark, quoth she, prepare thyselves for the absurdities that await. Forsooth, civilization doth teeter upon the precipice of pandemonium. Lo and behold, Anya's message is not merely a mirthful musing, nay, it is a clarion call to arms against the whims of weather and woe. Mother Nature, she doth declare with a smirk most sardonic, hath a sense of humor most grotesque. She doth unleash her fury whilst donning a jester's cap. Thus, with tongue-in-cheek tenacity, she implores all to heed her whimsical wisdom, lest they find themselves floundering in floods or flayed by fire. Attend, she cries as if summoning spirits from the ether, for I bring tidings of ancient disasters, those delightful debacles that dance through history like drunken sprites at a midsummer's eve. With each tale spun from the gossamer threads of time, Anya weaves an intricate tapestry wherein truth and jest intertwine like lovers lost in an enchanted forest. Didst thou know, she continues with gleeful glee, that once upon an epoch long forgotten, there existed a volcano named Vesuvius? Aye, it did erupt with such fervor that it turned hapless Pompeii into a veritable playground for petrified picnickers. The absurdity lies not only in the fiery fate but also in how these ancient souls might have fared had they possessed Anya's sage advice on disaster management. Verily, she chuckles with chortling charm, had they but known to keep their valuables in waterproof bags, or to don helmets whilst dining al fresco beneath the shadowy specter of doom. Alas, they were too busy feasting on figs and frolicking to fathom their fiery fate. Herein lies Anya's arcane truth. Preparation is paramount even when merriment beckons like a siren's song. With each twist and turn of her tales, Anya artfully articulates absurd alliterations that tickle the tongue and tease the mind. Beware, she warns with mock gravity, the tempestuous torrents that threaten thy tranquil towns. Tarry not in trepidation. Instead, take timely tactics to tackle tumultuous tides. Her words dance like dandelions caught in a whimsical windstorm, a reminder that laughter can be found even amidst chaos. Yet let us not forget, quoth Anya with an exaggerated wink, the great earthquake that rattled Rome as if it were but a child's toy tossed aside in tantrum. Imagine, buildings crumbling like stale breadsticks while citizens scurried about like startled squirrels. Such vivid imagery serves as both entertainment and enlightenment, a lesson wrapped in levity. As her tales unfold like scrolls from an ancient library filled with tomes both dusty and delightful, Anya emphasizes one crucial truth: knowledge is power. To arm oneself against calamity, she proclaims with fervent flair, is to wield wisdom as one would wield a wand, magically transforming misfortune into mere mishaps. Thus does she encourage all who listen to embrace education as their shield against nature's unpredictable pranks. In conclusion, dear audience of this grand gathering under the stars twinkling like mischievous pixies overhead, Anya beseeches thee, subscribe forthwith to the Cataclysm Chronicles, for within its pages lie lessons steeped in history's hilarity, a compendium of calamities crafted for those brave enough to laugh whilst learning. So brace thyselves for more absurd history lessons. After all, who knew ancient disasters could be this entertaining?